Tempesto. This coaster is squeezed into Busch Gardens Williamsburg in the Fiesta Italia area that does not have the quality theming the park is known for. Still, the light daredevil and circus act theming works really well for this coaster, as, looking up at it, you can't help but imagine an acrobat performing similar feats. But does that make it an enjoyable Skyrocket 2 clone? Find out in this review. Tempesto is one of 11 Skyrocket 2 clones around the world, although it is the third oldest, being built in 2015. These offer a 150-foot tall coaster that takes up a relatively small footprint. Although not a record, the slow inline twist 150 feet in the air is near the top of the highest inversions in the world, and the layout takes inspiration from the Maurer Skyloop, which did open with a record for the tallest inversion in the world. Tempesto has a 3-car train, though some Skyrocket 2 models just have 2 cars. The extra train makes for the very front and the very back row to offer better feelings on the vertical spikes. These models are very seat dependent, and my favorite for Tempesto is going to be that front row, as you get some hang time on both the forwards and backward launches, before getting to enjoy the great visuals of completing the course. Others I know prefer the back for the superior drop feelings and the whip, and I would suggest that you try out as many different rows on Tempesto as you can. However, due to the single train this coaster runs, it can be challenging to get multiple re-rides to find your row of choice, as the line will move slowly. This didn't prove too terrible for me, as this coaster is not nearly as popular as the other coasters throughout the park. But the Fiesta Italia section seems to be crowded for really no reason, so I imagine that Tempesto can get busy. Hitting this up shortly after rope drop, there was no line. And even coming a little bit after noon on a Sunday, I still only had to wait because I wanted the front row, which will likely be at least a 3 to 4 extra cycle wait. The line did not seem to die down towards the end of the night though, as I normally spent the last hour of my day at Busch Gardens Williamsburg riding Apollo's Chariot or Pantheon if Apollo's Chariot broke down. And when I checked Tempesto's line to see if I could get a quick ride, it had maybe a 20-minute wait around this time from what I remember. On slower days at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, lines shouldn't be much of an issue at all, but this could be a minor problem just due to its limited capacity. Some riders complain about the comfort collars on these coasters, but I feel it really doesn't impact the ride too much, and it makes me feel a bit safer while dangling upside down. Icebreaker, which has similar trains, recently removed their comfort collars, and that coaster is downright painful without them. So I'm going to be in the I'm not too concerned about these restraints camp. After departing the station, you're launched a little bit up the first hill. This is followed by a backwards launch, which takes you almost all the way up the second drop. If you're in the very front row, you get some nice hang time here. Then you're launched a final time, and get all the way to the top of this acrobatic themed coaster, before slowly going through an inline twist. Next, you'll plunge down what looks like a truly beautiful drop, but you turn so quickly, 180 degrees on this drop, that it offers little in the ways of nice drop feelings or even laterals. It's a nice sized roller coaster element, but almost a forgettable drop on ride. Then you go through what looks like it should be an inversion, but again is just a twisted up and a twisted drop, before braking in the station and getting a little bit of hang time on the initial hill, if you're in that very front row. Overall, how good is Tempesto? This coaster offers a nice mixture of forces between hang time and drops, particularly with enjoyable stalls on the various spikes. It does feel slower than Tigris, and I rank it much lower than Tampa Bay's counterpart, Though part of that might be I'm just not as in love with this layout than I was after riding it for the first time, and I might need to move Tigers down to match where I'm putting Tempesto. The inversion on this plays a bit better as you take it slowly, and the main drops seem to hit a bit more, likely due to how the pre-drop brakes hit, but the hang time on the spike seemed much better on Tigers. I rank Tempesto right above Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. As a strong and solid B&M invert, it does a lot of things well, including its Immelman, which is one of my favorite inversions out there. But the snappy forces of B&M inverts are not my favorite, so I rank them lower than most. I rank Tempesto right below Cyclone at Wonderland, which is a strong wild mouse without any seatbelts, that has some fun laterals and some unique airtime with how you're tossed about the open car. Do you feel this coaster fits in well at Busch Gardens Williamsburg? How enjoyable do you find it? Let me know, and as always, Cup Coon Crop.